This is the good faith effort and contract goal setting presentation put on by the Division of Local Assistance with CalTrans, the Office of Policy Development and Quality Assurance. We plan on putting this into 3 different modules. The first module being some general DBE information. The second will be on good faith efforts, and the third will be on contract goal setting. Our first module, general information about the DBE program. I should warn you beforehand that this does not include all DBE information that you need to know to run your projects effectively. There's a lot of information with the DBE program that you need to know, and you can find that by reading our Chapter 9 in the LAPM, and also Exhibits 12G and 10R in the LAPM will give you more guidance as far as the DBE program. The CalTrans DBE program. This program belongs to CalTrans. If you use FHWA funds, if local agencies use FHWA funds, then they need to adhere to CalTrans' DBE program. There are other programs out there that belong to, that local agencies have with FTA, which FTA is a separate program than FHWA, but if you use FHWA funds, you need to follow CalTrans' DBE program because this is the only program that's been approved by FHWA. The program overall goal for the program is 12.5% DBE participation, with 3% of that being for race neutral and 9.5% coming through race conscious measures. Race conscious and race neutral. Race conscious is individual contract goals that target DBEs, so anything that comes from contract goals is considered race conscious participation. And then race neutral participation is anytime a prime contractor is a DBE and is a low bidder on a contract, their participation is considered race neutral, along with any participation that exceeds the goal. So, for example, if you had a contract goal of 8% and a contractor had a commitment from DBEs of 4%, the whole 4% would be considered race conscious. If a contractor or bidder received 12% commitment on an 8% contract goal, then 8% would be considered race conscious and 4% would be considered race neutral. If a DBE is a prime, then the entire amount would be considered race neutral. These are the groups that presently are in the race conscious program: Black Americans, Hispanic Americans, Native Americans, Asian Pacific Americans, Subcontinent Asian Americans, and women. All 6 groups are now in the race conscious program. And this is probably the most important slide in this presentation, and that's how to find certified DBEs. Now, where do you find certified DBEs? You find them on the CUCP database that is on OBEO's website, Office of Business and Economic Opportunities website. Here's the URL address for it, so you can go there and you'll find this screen. I'm going to go off onto the internet now and show you an actual example and go through the various functions that are in this search engine. This is the website, and as you can see from the website, there are various things that you can click on and use as far as your search. Here, the first one up here in the upper left-hand corner is CalTrans districts 1 through 12. Next to it is counties. If you're looking for DBEs in a certain county, this would be the slot that you would pick from. We have work category codes, and this is something that we're going to emphasize a lot in this presentation for the good faith effort as well as the contract goal setting is work category codes, and this is where you pick your work category codes. To view what the actual meaning of this work category codes are, you would click on this button right here, and this will pop up an Excel spreadsheet. This Excel spreadsheet, which is shown right here, gives you the work codes, the categories, the descriptions, the license requirements for those, and also the NAICS codes on the far right-hand side. These are the NAICS codes, associated NAICS codes with those work category codes. But here you can find, for example, C1201 is the work code for traffic control system. So C1201 is traffic control system, and here, the third column over, shows a basic description of what traffic control system is. And it says here, the person putting the orange cones or large barrels out at a construction site. So go through this and you can find what you need to know as far as what is associated with those codes. You have other codes. This one here that I was on, the construction, shows you construction work codes specifically for construction items. The next column over, or the next tab over, is construction suppliers. These are people who supply for construction operations. Professional services is the third tab over, dealing with consultants, and again it gives the work codes, categories, and descriptions. And finally, truckers and transportation. Those are the categories that we use for highway construction and roadway construction. So that's the work category codes. Below it, you're going to have on the left-hand side here, you have majority owners, their genders, male or female, race, ethnicities, license type as we go to the right. NAICS codes are also on the search engine. And then finally, you can search by the DBE's name or the firm ID, city, zip codes, etc. I generally use this to look at various counties. If there's a contract that's occurring in Glenn County, I would click on Glenn County, and then I would look for a particular item of work, and I'm going to use traffic control system. Click on that, and I'm simply going to hit search. The search engine will then provide me with 24 names of 24 different DB firms that have been certified and are ready, willing, and able to work in Glenn County. You're going to hear me say that a lot, ready, willing, and able, through this presentation, because what that means is that a particular DB subcontractor may not be located in Glenn County, but they're willing to work in Glenn County. They may be located in San Diego, but they're ready, willing, and able to work in Glenn County. So this gives all the various names that are associated with those DBEs. It provides their location up here in the top, the owner's name, phone number, the agency that certifies that particular DBE. In this case, the Department of Transportation, CalTrans certified them. There are various agencies throughout California which certify DBEs. CalTrans, I think, certifies about 50% of the DBEs that appear on this list. Then you have work category codes down here. These are all the work category codes that this particular contractor has been certified in. He's certified in traffic control system, resetting and adjusting roadways, planing asphalt. It shows his license, and it shows his ethnicity and gender. And also up here, you also have the NAICS codes. So it's a very powerful engine. It gives you all the names, again, that are certified to do this work in our DBEs. So that's how you find certified DBEs. So we've talked about work category codes. CalTrans uses work category codes in lieu of NAICS codes, or North American Industry Classification System codes. The reason for that is that work category codes are much more specific than NAICS codes. NAICS codes for a typical road, street construction, you probably have maybe 5 or 6 NAICS codes to describe the various items of work. Whereas with work category codes for street and road construction, just for construction alone, you have 126 different codes that describe the various items of work. Using NAICS codes, if I wanted to find somebody who did roadway construction and I went into NAICS codes and I looked up the NAICS codes for highway, street, and bridge construction, I'd probably get 200 or so contractors that have been certified, DB subcontractors, in that particular item of work. By using work category codes, I go specifically right away to roadway excavation. I don't have to go through the long list of contractors that are listed in the NAICS codes to find out who does roadway excavation. So it makes it easier for us to do contract goal setting and to check GFEs, and also for contractors to find available DBEs that perform the types of work that they're looking for. Again, here's 100 for streets, roads, and constructions. There's 126 different work category codes. Construction suppliers, those people that are providing supplies for construction jobs, regular dealers of construction materials, supplies, and equipment. There's 27 different categories of construction suppliers. Similarly, there's 73 different work category codes for professional services or consultants, and there's more for truckers as well. I think there's probably 7 or 8 for truckers. So those are work category codes, much more specific than NAICS codes. A lot of you are still using NAICS codes. A lot of local agencies still use NAICS codes, but they really should be using work category codes because it defines the search for DBEs much better than the NAICS codes. And it's very important in evaluating GFEs and coming up with contract goals for your particular federal aid projects. For questions that you have with DBE, I certainly urge you to contact the district, and if the district can't answer your DBE questions, then they can contact HQ, headquarters, and then we'll assist them. And sometimes we get in assistance with the local agencies in the district, but it's important that the district get involved with it because there might be some things that are in that particular contract that we're not aware of, and we always want to make sure they're on board with whatever we're telling the various districts and local agencies. For official questions and answers, here's a URL address for official questions and answers for 49 CFR 26. It's a great website to go to. It gives you examples of what the CFRs are actually trying to tell you as far as trucking, for example, or what constitutes a regular dealer. All the various CFRs are described there and they're examples and made it a little bit easier for you to understand the DB program in general. Recently we came out with an office bulletin. This is 14-06. 14-06 affects all contracts, all construction contracts over $2 million and consultant authorizations over $500,000. It is our attempt here to try to approve contract goals for those contracts that exceed those $2 million for construction contracts and $500,000 for consultant contracts. We want to see the calculations for those contract goals so we can make sure that those are appropriate goals for that particular area. We're also going to be reviewing your GFEs if you award that particular contract, again with those limits, over those limits. If you award a contract based on a GFE, we want to see the GFE prior to you actually awarding the contract. And we will look at that GFE and we'll comment on it and give you our feedback as to what we think is the viability of that GFE. This program started in October and we plan on running it for 1 year to see how we're doing as far as contract goals and GFEs. And if we see that it's very effective and that we are being a service to the local agencies, then we'll continue it after that.